Welcome back, witches! Well, hello, my lovely wanderers of the twilight path. Welcome back to Anonymous Crone, where the tea is warm, the candles are lit, and spirituality hangs a little to the left. I am your hostess with the mostest, the Anonymous Crone herself, your cranky forest sprite, solitary practitioner who likes her magic with a glass of wine. Today's episode is a big one that you've asked for, one that takes a whole cauldron to stir. We're talking about deity and why you should get to know your gods and goddesses. So sit down, or stand up, or lay in the grass, or walk your dog, or whatever suits your witchy little spirit. Let's begin. So what is deity? I know there's a few of you out there that says, it's pronounced deity. And I say, that's cute. Pronounce it how you want to. I've always called it deity. There are a lot of magical words, a lot of ways to pronounce different things, to pronounce different names. Depends on your background and what your path has taught you to say. So for this episode, it is deity. And we're going to start with the basics. And the basics are never really basic, are they? Because when people ask, what is deity? They're usually hoping for a really simple answer and simple definition, like it's a vocabulary test or something. Some people, they picture the gods and goddesses with names, faces, stories, and myths. Me being one, I'm raising my hand. But some feel forces like sun, moon, ocean, and storm. I'm raising my hand for that too. And some experience deity as a relationship. And I'm raising my hand for that one as well. It's not necessarily a magic being in the sky or in the cosmos. It's not a boss. It's not a cosmic vending machine that dispenses blessings if you sacrifice the right flavor of candle. A deity, in pagan practice, is a living current of energy. A lot of us actually believe that it's a physical being. Think about it. It's a god or goddess. Something you don't normally see with your eyeballs. It's a conscious presence that exists both within and outside of you. It can be a force of nature, a teacher, a mirror, a guide, and sometimes it's a cosmic trickster who laughs when you ignore the obvious. Deities, they can be personalities, energy patterns, ancient beings with stories older than writing, and beings who continue to evolve as humans evolve. But here's the thing about deity. You don't have to believe in deity the same way other people do. Paganism, witchcraft, Wiccans, we're not interested in uniformity. We are not building matching IKEA altars here, bitches. Some pagans see deity as literal beings. Again, raising my hand. There are so many different beliefs. Others, they see deity as metaphors. Others as energy currents. Others believe in the aspects of their selves. And many, like this bitch right here, pointing to myself, move fluidly between all these experiences depending on the day, the moon phase, and the amount of coffee consumed. You take a little bit of what you learned and you turn that into your own path. Keep in mind, and I'm probably going to say this again, many people work with deity, but many people don't. And you know what? Both paths are completely 100% valid. Here's something that beginners, baby witches, new practitioners, they often worry about. They second guess herself and ask, am I doing this wrong if I don't experience deity the same way someone else does? No, you're doing it absolutely right by listening to your own self, by listening to your own experience. And there's no wrong way to be a witch. Can you say that again for the people in the back? There is no wrong way to be a witch. That is going to be a reoccurring statement through this whole entire podcast. Well, why do we even call on deity? Well, different deities embody different forces, like love, protection, wisdom, fertility, transformation, justice, creativity, really anything. Calling on a deity helps us as a practitioner attune ourselves to that energy and work in harmony with it rather than pushing against the flow. Most pagan paths, we see deity as intertwined with nature, not separate from it. Calling on a deity is a way of honoring the cycles of the earth, the seasons, the moons, and the tides of life. We don't ask deities to fix anything. Instead, we ask for insight. We ask for strength and courage and clarity. The work is still ours to do. Deity just offers perspective, not shortcuts. But for many of us, calling on deity simply feels natural, ancestral, and it feels like grounding. Like speaking to the land, the moon, or just an old friend who understands the deeper currents of existence. And, just to reiterate, not all witchy folk call on deity. Some work purely with nature, ancestors, or energy. This is not a one-size-fits-all thing. And flexibility, well, that's part of magic. So, why should we know our deities? Well, let me say this a little bit more plainly. If you're doing a ritual or spell work and you don't understand the deity that you're invoking, well, you're essentially inviting a stranger into your house. Imagine calling a plumber to fix your sink, but instead summoning a personal trainer who starts rearranging your furniture. This is kind of common in the beginner practitioner category. Working with the right deity helps you align your energy with the right forces, avoiding mismatched intentions, and you understand the deeper layers of the ritual. You also form a relationship that deepens your practice. When you know who you're calling, magic becomes co-creative and not chaotic. So some beginners, and some people I know that should know better, will call upon the same deity for everything, like a best friend. I mean, that's cool and all. You can figure shit out together, I guess. But why not tap the correct well of knowledge and power? Think about it like this. You wouldn't go to a dentist for a sprained ankle. You would not go to a chef to fix your roof. And you would not go to a sea spirit for desert survival skills. Different powers, different wisdom, different roles. In the previous episode, entitled Perfect Love, Perfect Trust, I was talking about circle casting, and I really did touch upon a ritual. Didn't go into too much detail. I touched upon it, and I did mention now is the time when you call your deity. But how do you know who to call upon? Which deity should I invoke? Well, look at the purpose of your ritual. Is it protection? Is it for healing? Is it for wisdom? Is it for creativity, divination, shadow work, to hex a bitch, whatever? Every deity has its strengths, its core energetic realm. Knowing a deity's strengths helps you to build a healthy relationship instead of unrealistic expectations. So, a deity associated with war, they may not bring peace into your life, but they may teach you courage. A deity that's associated with love may not fix your toxic relationship, but they might teach you self-worth. A deity associated with death is not there to scare you. They are there to help you understand endings. Well, what if you don't align with a common witchy deity? That's okay. Look at your ancestry or areas of interest. You don't have to choose a deity from your ancestry, but some people feel a deeper resonance there. Others feel drawn to cultures that they've studied or respected or aligned with. And don't worry, sometimes a deity will call upon you. How do you know it's a higher power and not just anxiety? Well, look for signs. If a deity wants your attention, they are not shy. You can expect repeated symbols or numbers, animals showing up, dreams, random conversations that strike a chord and make you remember, oh shit, yeah, this actually aligns with who I think has been calling on me. Books falling off a shelf. A little nudging in your chest. Deity are like magical toddlers with excellent timing. You will just know. But why would they call on us mere humans? Well, some deities, they choose you because you remind them of themselves. Some choose you because you need their lessons. Some choose you because your energy complements theirs. Still not sure? Try the 3-call test. If you think a deity is calling to you, sit there quietly. Call to them gently 3 times. If you feel warmth or a tingling, emotions, clarity, or I get chills up and down my spine and on my arms, the main telling thing for me is I get goosebumps on my face. Isn't that weird? Anyways, repeat that for a few days if you're still unsure. There's no pressure, no forcing, just their presence. There is a small catalog of very popular deities that a lot of us work with. These summaries are intentionally condensed because if I give their full biography, we will be here for days and days and days. I'm going to have an episode entirely dedicated to some of these, though, because some of them are my favorites, and I feel it's worth a deep dive. We're also going to have an episode that is going to touch upon the lesser known, so that'll be really interesting, too. But here's a few deities that not say most, but a lot of us do work with. Let's start this list off with Hecate. I am actually working pretty close with her right now at this point in my life. She kind of called out to me. She is the goddess of witchcraft and crossroads. Her domain is magic, liminal spaces, protection, necromancy, and intuition. Her symbols are keys, torches, crossroads, and dogs. And we work with her because she is the witch's guide, especially for those walking paths alone and solitary. She helps you see what is hidden, shifts your reality, and helps to reclaim your power. Calling on Hecate is good for rituals involving protection, shadow work, psychic vision, and major life decisions. One of the biggest Celtic goddesses is Brigid. She's the goddess of fire, healing, and poetry. She dominates over inspiration, creativity, hearth fire, craftsmanship, and healing waters. Her symbols are flames, wells, forges, and we work with her because Brigid is warm and nurturing, and she has endless creativity. She is the spark that reminds us that transformation doesn't have to hurt. It can also illuminate. She's a very prominent goddess during Imbolc. We call on her during rituals for creativity, cleansing, healing, and even blessing your home. We have to include the Norse god Odin. He is the all-father of wisdom. His domains are knowledge, runes, battle, death, leadership, and mysticism. Some of his symbols are ravens and wolves, and those who work with them seek a deeper truth. We crave wisdom, and we don't mind being uncomfortable to gain it. We call upon Odin during rituals involving divination, courage, insight, and a lot of ancestral work. A very prominent Norse goddess is Freya. She's the goddess of love, sorcery, beauty, and war. She dominates over passion, desire, independence, and battle. Her symbols are cats, amber, and falcon feathers. We work with her because Freya empowers our sensuality, our emotional independence, and magical mystery. We call upon her during rituals that involve love, manifestation, glamour, and personal power. And an Egyptian goddess, Isis, is another very strong goddess to work with. She was always the one I first ran to when I found my path. She is the mother of magic. She dominates over healing and protection, motherhood, sacred knowledge. Her symbols can involve wings, thrones, and Ankh. I think that's how you pronounce it. We work with her because she is divine compassion in motion. She's a protector of the vulnerable, a rebuilder of the broken. We call upon her for rituals that involve healing, protection, and emotional restoration. We also have Cernunnos. He is the horned god of nature, dominates over the wilderness, fertility, animals, and cycles of life and death. His symbols are stag horns and the serpent. And we work with them because he balances our primal instincts with wisdom. He teaches presence, grounding, and intuitive living. We call upon Cernunnos for rituals that involve nature magic, abundance, and grounding. Another Celtic goddess is the Morrigan, goddess of sovereignty, war, and fate. Her domain is transformation, prophecy, shadow work, battle, and endings. Her symbols include ravens, crows, and swords. And we work with her because she's the mother of necessary endings. She pushes you, challenges you, and elevates you. We call upon the Morrigan for rituals that involve protection, courage. So how do we call upon deity? How do we invoke them safely and respectfully? Well, invoking a deity, it's not like calling their name. It's not like Marco Polo. Here's how you do it, and do it well. Here is how you call upon them and show them respect. That way they answer your call. You want to set clear intentions. Know why you're calling them. Know why they're going to be beneficial to your spell or ritual. You can learn their offerings and then offer them the things they like. Offerings show respect. Make sure you know what they like and have the offering correlate with the proper deity. You're not going to put milk on an altar when you're trying to call a deity associated with death. You're not going to give wine to a deity who's associated with purity. Learn them, know them, because balance here is key. Use their symbols. Candles, herbs, incense, colors, chants, everything associated with the deities help you tune your energy to theirs. Call on them gently. Always start with an invitation, not a demand. Check your emotional state. If you are spiraling, invoking a powerful deity may amplify the chaos. When closing your ritual, always thank and dismiss the deity. Don't leave the spiritual door open. So how do you tell if a deity is responding to your invitation? Well, signs of connection may include sudden warmth or coldness, feeling of being watched, but in a good way. Goosebumps, like all over goosebumps. I know when a deity's around because I get goosebumps on my face. You could feel pressure on your shoulders or your forehead, a sudden knowing or a memory or image that is not your own. An animal associated with that deity may appear. But the biggest sign of all to know that they've answered, it just feels like something woke up inside you. To sum it up, you don't need 50 deities. You don't need the fanciest altar. You do not need 20 years of experience. But what you do need is curiosity, respect, a little intuition, willingness to listen, and to be patient. Patience is key a lot of the times. Working with deity is a relationship. It's not quick. It's not always easy. But it is very powerful, transformative, and it's deeply beautiful. Remember, though, you are already sacred. Deity, well, they just help you remember that. So I cut the lesson part down just a little bit today because when I posted this on social media, I had so many responses for our question and answer time. This time I asked the question and you guys answered. So my question was, what is deity to you? Is it an actual higher being or a representation of energy that you are looking to channel? Our first response was from Kelly, and she answered this. Representation of energy. If there are any superior beings, my guess they would be extraterrestrial. I think that the Anunnaki were an alien race instead of gods. And you know what? That's a very popular belief. If you guys would like a whole episode dedicated to this, just let me know. I also got an answer from Lady Lily, who answered this. She says, they are real beings. I use the specific gods and goddesses based off of what different things need to be done. Our next response comes from Anonymous. And yes, if you want to share your stories, your questions, your paths, anything, and you want to remain anonymous, you certainly can. After all, Anonymous is part of the title of this podcast. So this is from Anonymous. For me, as far as I've learned in this life, spirit relationship is key to most methods of doing magic. Deities, though they are more powerful, can be considered on a higher tier than most spirits. But they are spirits. What you get from a relationship with one is what you put into it. A deity is a person. They have feelings and plans, and importantly, an agenda. If that messes with you and what you want or feel that you need to do, then that particular deity is a good fit for you. Getting to know one, at least as best as you're able to, is huge. This is a being who will walk with you, guide you, and will possibly do things for you or give you abilities or knowledge. For myself, the deity I know and work with is a parent-type figure. She has helped me with issues in my own life and personality that I otherwise would have had trouble dealing with. So for me, this is a relationship of growth, both personal and spiritual. She has sent me other spirits to work with and who have taught me things, so I'm grateful for that and do what I can to honor that relationship that we have built so far. Thank you, Anonymous. That was so beautiful. Deity represents something different to everybody. What does deity mean to you? Please email me at acronepodcast@gmail.com. Now it's time for our guest spot. Our guest spot on today's episode comes from one of our listeners, Miss Dara Perky. She sent in an email to be read by yours truly, and she has her own beautiful way of interacting with her chosen deity. Now, if you want a guest spot, you can send me something to read, or you can send me an audio clip and I will play that on the podcast. She actually just sent me an email for me to read it to you. And here's what Miss Dara has to say. I have two deities, a god and a goddess. Both are my higher powers. I have balance in my gods. They are my celestial parents. I've always felt a connection with the ocean, and through my initiation into Wicca, I ritualed and asked my god and goddess if they would allow me to connect with them as my god and goddess. I received my confirmation through a dream state. I want to tell you why I have deities in my life at all, and why the two walk closest with me. They are Poseidon and Aphrodite. My deities are not distant perfect beings in the sky. They are my higher powers I can relate to, talk to, and lean on. They are beings who mirror what I am going through and who teach me how to survive it and grow from it. Poseidon is the god of my transition. He rules the seas, storms, and earthquakes, and that's exactly what my life feels like right now. Everything is shifting, breaking, and reshaping all at once. My gender transition has brought chaos, fear, loss, and deep emotion, and Poseidon understands that wild, unpredictable side of change. I've always felt connected to the ocean, the way it can be calm one moment and raging the very next. I am made of dust of the stars, and the oceans flow in my veins. The sea has endless depth, and that mirrors my own emotional and identity depth. The parts of me that people don't always see on the surface. With Poseidon, I've learned to ride the waves instead of drowning in them, to trust that the storm is carrying me toward a new shoreline, not just smashing everything apart. Aphrodite is my goddess because she fits the way my energy moves through the world. She is the goddess of love, sensuality, passion, and sexual power. Not just soft romance, but that deep, magnetic, hungry part of being alive. I'm a Scorpio, and by nature I'm intense, sexual, and full of passion. I feel things at 100%, whether that's desire, love, or pain, and Aphrodite meets me right there. She doesn't shame sexuality. She makes it sacred. She reminds me that my desire, my body, and my need for deep, honest connections are not wrong. With her, I've learned to own my sexuality instead of hiding it, to see my body as worthy of love, and to channel all that intensity into pleasure, creativity, and real intimacy instead of self-destruction. Together, Poseidon and Aphrodite hold both sides of me, the storms and the waves of my transition, and the fierce, passionate, sexual self that refuses to apologize for existing. They show me that I'm allowed to change, to feel deeply, to want deeply, and to love myself in the middle of all that chaos. That's why these are my gods. That's why they will forever have a place in my life and guide my soul. Thank you so much, Dara M. Perky. Thank you to everybody who responded to my online question, those who've sent your questions in, and my special guest spots for today. If you have any questions, cool stories, or would like to have your own guest spot on a future episode, please email me at acronepodcast@gmail.com. That's acronepodcast@gmail.com. As at the end of every episode, here is today's Crone's blessing. May the right God and Goddess hear your call. Not every power is meant for all. Seek the one whose flames align with your intent and sacred signs. Walk in wisdom, not in haste. Let no true magic go to waste. Call not a name in idle air, but seek the one who's already there. So until next time, keep wandering, keep wondering, keep questioning, and may your path always be illuminated by something just a little strange. See you next week here at Anonymous Crone.